Let's unbox the new Marvel Legends Disney Plus Wave. This gives us a whole bunch from WandaVision, like Agatha that we're about to unbox here. Some more What If figures, Secret Invasion. Don't know if we needed that one, but we're going to start off with Agatha from WandaVision. One of my favorite characters in the MCU, full stop. I loved WandaVision. I loved Agnes Harkness and Agatha Harkness, both of them. Regardless of what happened to Sparky, I think this character is fantastic, and curious to see how this figure goes. It looks like there's not going to be a great deal of articulation in this, which I'm kind of fine with, but as long as I can get it on a flight stand, then I'll be pretty happy with it. I will be unboxing the entire wave in this video and putting together the Build-A-Figure. Hopefully it doesn't collapse and fall apart at the waist like the totally awesome Hulk Build-A-Figure from the Marvel's wave, because that was rough. Doesn't look like Agatha comes with any effects or alternate hands, which is a bit of a disappointment. Could have at least given her some alternate hands, but we'll see what the figure looks like anyway. This may end up being more of a statue than anything else. Alright, they've given her the high-heeled shoes, which, again, I don't know how... Oh, yeah, that's going to make it even worse. Oh, are you kidding me? The feet on this are like tiny high heels, and the figure is super heavy because of all the plastic on the dress. Look-wise, it looks pretty good. It feels like the color may be a little bit washed out, but at least we've got some expression on the faces. Some of the MCU figures really look a little bit kind of like deadpan. The back part of it it's pretty heavy. Like all the dress on this is quite heavy. It does feel like one of my ankles is a little bit loose as well, so that's going to be fun trying to get this one to stand up. Oh god, I hope this goes on a flight stand, because if it does, that is where it will live. But looks like it does actually balance pretty okay, all things considered. I don't know if that's balancing on the... Yeah, no, even without balancing on the dress, it looks like it balances pretty okay, but I don't know. If you live in a house with like shaky floors, you might have some issues with this one over time. Even the hands, you can't really like angle a hand upwards because of the way the molding is on the sleeve. So you can kind of angle the hand down, but you can't point it sort of up like she's, you know, throwing her powers around. So articulation on this is very, very limited. I mean, at this point, is it even worth having articulated limbs on this one? I don't know, like, open it up there, like, I don't know. It's definitely a good Agatha Harkness, but I do worry about trying to do anything other than very rudimentary poses with this one. Other than that, the arms are pinless, the legs are not pinless, but it doesn't matter because you can't really see them anyway. And the color and everything on here looks great. It's a very good Agatha Harkness. The head is a little bit limited with the articulation. I wish they would find a way to make the head molds weigh a lot less and use a different kind of plastic or make it hollow or something, because they always get kind of like rough. But she does twist at the waist. That's probably the only other real articulation you can do with it, so you might get a little bit of use out of that. But overall, it looks great, but it lacks as an action figure. It looks more like a statue than anything else. Should Marvel Legends start releasing like deluxe statues that are in complete, you know, scale with the Marvel Legends, but it's a character like this that comes with a whole bunch of other stuff? I don't know, maybe they should. She does sit on a flight stand okay, but it's very heavy. Make sure you tighten your screws on your flight stand before you try and pose her on there, because it's a little bit wobbly. Like I say, the plastic's heavy. There's so much hair on this that's a big, heavy piece of plastic. So I don't think they did a great job in the design of this figure. But the final product, just looking at it on a shelf, I think it's a sound Agatha, and can't wait to put it with all the rest of the WandaVision characters. Next up, let's do the Secret Invasion boys, Talos and Nick Fury. Talos is a figure that I've wanted to get for a while. I missed out on the Captain Marvel wave, and I just never got around to picking him up. So I'm glad I finally have a version of Talos here on a great civilian body. Looks like it's got really good feet on it as well, not those dodgy MCU suited feet, which looks like we get it with Nick Fury, so we'll deal with that in a second. But let's see how these feet go. Alright, I hope they can figure out this feet situation for the MCU figures, because this looks good. Looks pinless. Knees bend. The shoes are not as bad on the bottom. They're still a little bit bent, so they might be a little bit of the same, which really, really sucks. But the likeness to Ben Mendelsohn is really bloody good, and I like this real just casual clothing, civilian clothing that we've got here. But I didn't come here for no civilian. Let's get into the Skrull business, shall we? It's a very cool idea for a figure to have, you know, Skrull parts and human parts. You know, it just makes it very, very versatile, I guess. But let's pop these hands off. And the head comes off way down in the body, in the neck joint there. That sort of long pegged. I wish I knew the exact name of it, but Iron Man does that. It's so that you can you don't have a different color between the neck and the head. And this looks perfect. That's a pretty solid Skrull figure. I mean, the paint app on mine looks pretty solid. I like the design of it. The MCU Skrulls do look pretty good. And this is a great undercover human living as a Skrull, but currently in Skrull form, action figure. Talos, it could be anybody. The main thing I like about this is the legs. It looks like they may be using some new parts for some of the civilian MCU action figures, which is fantastic to see. So let's put him up there. Yeah, these pose way, way, way better. I would always rather have these kind of feet rather than the like the dress shoes kind of feet that we're about to see in a second. So loving this. I think it looks fantastic, and I'll go put him over there with Everett Ross. I'd say the neck joint does make it difficult to put that with to do a head swap with other figures, but whatever, it's totally fine. Let's have a look at the man himself, Nick Fury. Now, this doesn't look like it comes with an alternate head, but I could have sworn that I saw this came with a regular Fury head without the beanie and without the grey. I thought it was like a kind of a 2-1. So, I don't know, I'm a little bit nervous about this figure. It looks like it's not going to have a great deal of articulation, and it looks like it has the old feet. So, let's see what we've got. Plenty of accessories. It looks like we get similar accessories to the recent Black Widow. Same guns, same blast effects, same smoke effects, 2 of each. Let's see what we've got here. But no, it doesn't look like I'm getting a OG Nick Fury head, which that kind of sucks. I feel like that could have really made this figure way more versatile. I could have sworn I seen it somewhere advertised that it was going to have an extra head. Alright, so immediately I can see that this has got kind of gummy legs. Again, I don't know if that's a windowless packaging problem or if it is a pinless joints problem. Well, these aren't pinless, so I guess it's a no plastic packaging issue, because yeah, the legs on this are really, really kind of gummy. They stick together too much. They're way too kind of shaped with the trench coat as well. This comes off, and he has a giant black spot on his head. No idea what this Gorbachev he's got on the top of his head, but let's have a look at the paint application on here. The eye patch strap is a little bit different, and the silver in the beard looks metallic. I don't think it's supposed to sort of have that metallic look, but I don't know. Overall, this figure's a little bit of a bummer. Let's put some weaponry in the man's hands and see if that changes my mind. I did watch Secret Invasion on the channel, by the way. If you are interested in my reaction to that, go ahead and check it out. But like everybody else, I thought it was a little bit underwhelming. It felt like we were waiting for something for the whole series, and then nothing really sort of came that really elicited that kind of response. So yeah, I wasn't overly impressed. I really don't think they needed any figures to, you know, remember that series by. It just sort of, I don't know, it just didn't work. It just didn't work. I mean, the guns and the effects, they certainly add a little bit to this in terms of posing it, but oh man, I don't know if I'm going to have to warm these legs up, just trying to get them to sort of stay spread enough to the point where I can sort of pose and balance the figure, but they just immediately, the heels kind of come together like that, you know? It's really hard to get them to stay apart, so I don't know if I'm going to have to heat this one up, but I mean, overall, not that impressed with this figure, even if I just stand it, like, the legs correct on their own, and then he nearly falls over. I mean, the beanie is an interesting piece because it's removable, and it looks really good while it's on, it doesn't look like it's an accessory. I thought it was a part of the sculpt, so that's one good thing I guess I can say about this figure, but yeah, I'm not too impressed with this one at all. We're here to unbox Gamora now. Let's see what this is. So this is this Gamora from the Guardians of the Multiverse? Is that what I'm getting from this? Because I know this is from What If Season 2, but I know that there was a lost Gamora episode from What If Season 1, and I loved What If. Go check out my What If reactions if you haven't already, because they're a hell of a lot of fun. Alright, first impressions. The legs on these are very, very weird. It's like the feet, I have to figure out like what is like the neutral position for the feet, but I mean, they look pretty good. The articulation is there. It's all pinless. It looks, the color scheme on it, the green, absolutely pops. Got plenty of red in the hair as well. Looks absolutely fantastic, and I mean, I do wish that we got some hands with this one. I don't think I got any extra hands. So I think this version of Gamora took down Thanos in whatever reality she's from, because she comes with Thanos's double blade, and this is identical to the one that comes with the Tony Stark Thanos 2-pack. That's the Thanos that I've got. And it looks exactly the same, except, is this going to be too heavy for her to hold? Let's have a look. Well, it actually feels pretty good. The joints on the Gamora are tight. If you get one that's got like loose joints, then you might be in trouble. But this one feels pretty, this one feels pretty good. I was going to, again, try and find that neutral feet position, because they're kind of high heels, but they're like a weird boot version. I don't think they needed to use this kind of design feet, but she is incredibly tricky to try and get a good balance with. These feet are just terrible. They're like the heels, but they're worse somehow. I don't know. They didn't really do this figure any favors with that, but if you can get a good pose on it, the paint application, the expression on the face, I think it all looks very very high quality and detailed. It's just a shame about those feet. They really need to do something about the feet on the female figures lately, like, because yeah, this is rough. We've had this, we had Agatha also had some feet issues as well. Will it make the shelf? It'll definitely make the shelf, because I love What If, I love the Guardians of the Multiverse, and I've got all the other Guardians of the Multiverse except for a decent Thor. I've got a Thor, but need to get Party Thor to complete the set, I think. But I like I say, I love What If, and I think this is a very crucial addition to that shelf. Definitely shelf worthy. Sticking with What If, the next one is Marvel's Goliath, and an unfortunate trend that I'm seeing with this whole wave. No additional hands. We've just got a fisted hand, and then we've got a grabbing hand for Goliath. And I don't know who this is. Is this Lawrence Fishburne's character from Ant-Man and the Wasp? I'm pretty sure it is, but I don't know. Is he going to be a villain in What If, or is he going to join the Guardians of the Multiverse? Is he going to be like the Ant-Man surrogate for that role? I don't know. Alright, let's see what this guy is all about. So he's just basically an Ant-Man kind of clone. Is not pinless either. Ooh, this guy better be a very important part of the show and a very fun, interesting character, because this figure is a little bit bizarre. These arms are just kind of, I don't know, they're sticky, but they also look like they're sitting at a weird angle at all of the joints. Maybe they're a little bit bent. The legs on it are pretty good, but again, sadly, not pinless. Regular articulation everywhere else, no butterfly joints or anything like that, but I don't know, I like the color scheme. I like the blue, white, and black. It kind of gives me Orlando Magic vibes, which is my NBA team, even though Josh Giddey. I mean, come on, surely you understand why I'm wearing this jersey. But yeah, this is a very plain looking figure. I mean, you could probably do some decent kind of posing with it, I guess, to sort of make it look like he's in action or something like that. It's hard to see who is under there, like even just trying to see like a skin color or something like that, it's very hard to tell who this character is. So forgive me for not knowing who Goliath is. Is it shelf worthy? If he ends up being an important part of the Guardians of the Multiverse or the What If universe in general, maybe I could justify putting him on the shelf with the rest of them. But at face value, It looks cool. I feel like you could also almost make a A-Train custom, A-Train from the boys. You could almost make an A-Train custom out of this, but I don't know. As a figure on its own, it's a little bit underwhelming. And let's get into the ones that I'm most excited about. I think coming into this, I was most excited for Agatha, but that was a bit of a letdown. It looks great, but just the feet that they've chosen to use on it, it was not a fun experience. But Hawkeye was a series that I loved watching on my channel. I love the character of Yelena. I've been waiting for a good Yelena to come out, and I'm glad that I was patient because it's exactly what happened. The head scan on this looks a lot better than the Black Widow one, that's for sure, which I never got that figure, but I've seen the comparisons, and I'm very happy that I've waited out for this one here. At least Yelena comes with a couple of accessories, some hands and some batons by the looks of things. She definitely deserves it. She's a fantastic character. First impression, unfortunately not pinless. We've got decent feet on this one here. Quentin Tarantino is going to be thrilled to hear about this. We don't have those weird MCU high heel feet. I hope that they're being sort of phased out. But the articulation on the body, I mean... what's going on with these elbows here? Only single joint elbow by the looks of things. Double jointed knees. Yeah, just single joint on the elbow. That's unfortunate because she should be a little bit more kind of flexible. The hair on this looks really, really good though. I think that was a big part of her character throughout the series as well. I noticed we've got like gun hands with the up and down hinge instead of the left and right kind of thing. I'm okay with that. It's just kind of something to keep in mind when you're doing poses and stuff. This is a kind of figure that looks good in a very stoic kind of pose, more so than like an action pose. I find with some of the physical, like MCU kind of female figures, sometimes, again, it's just hard to get them in a natural looking pose because the feet are just too small. That's, I think, objectively what the problem is with them. That's the issue all around. The boots on this one are actually pretty good, and she stands up pretty fine, so I'm very happy with this figure. Shelf worthy? Absolutely. This is going on the Hawkeye shelf immediately. But oh, we are not done with Hawkeye yet. We've still got the man himself, the Kingpin. This one I've been looking forward to. I know some people have been talking about the scale of this. As long as he's a little bit taller, you know, a bit taller than everybody else, I'll be fine. I know that Comic Kingpin is just absurd. Or if you're in the Spider-Verse Kingpin, you've got shoulders that go up above your head. So, very many different variations of the Kingpin. He must be a big boy. He doesn't come with a Build-A-Figure piece. And let's see what we've got with this fellow. This young, follically challenged individual. The choice of outfit on it is pretty fantastic. I kind of wish the jacket was a bit whiter, to be completely honest. It looks a little bit better underneath there, but I don't know, it doesn't... I thought the white would be a lot more kind of crisp, you know what I mean? But let's have a look. Definitely Vincent D'Onofrio. We've got double jointed pinned arms, double jointed pinless legs. The feet are nice big feet. Good old big feet. Like I say, Quentin Tarantino is just loving this figure because of the big old clodhoppers that he's got down there. They articulate all the way as well. I guess if you want to get Kingpin in a three-point stance. The jacket does sit a little bit up. I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of the way that Hasbro do these jackets, but you know, whatever. It's okay. I think I would have rather it just be kind of like molded onto the body. So we get a couple of fisted hands with Kingpin and his cane that he has. I almost feel like, I wonder why Kingpin's not wearing any rings. Does he not wear rings? Because I feel like he should. Hard to get the cane to stay in his hand, but there is a bit in the middle of it that kind of makes it thick enough for him to grab. But, I don't know, the cane's not a bad accessory, I suppose. I'm just trying to think of a way to kind of pose him with the cane. So overall, I'm actually pretty impressed with the Hawkeye figure range that's come out so far across, you know, different lines. You know, I think we've got Kingpin, we've got Kazi, we've got the Tracksuit Mafia, Army Builder, which I loved collecting those guys. They're a lot of fun to pose. Even getting the Ronin version of Clint from the, you know, I don't think it's during the blip. It must be like when he redons the Ronin outfit. Now we've got Yelena. We just need Echo. That's the last one we need. And the swordsman, old mate, Jack Duquesne. I would love to get a figure of him. In the meantime, I'll make do with a Doctor Strange head on Baron Zemo's MCU body, and with Nightcrawler's sword. Very happy with the Kingpin, very happy with Yelena, and I think they really round out the Hawkeye TV series collection, and now, like I say, we just need Echo, and we've got the whole lot. So it looks like I just need a party Thor to complete the Guardians of the Multiverse, and I'm loving that series and I'm loving that team, so I'm very happy to get it. But speaking of What If, let's jump into this Build-A-Figure. This is the Hydra Stomper 2.0, I guess. Now, I have the original Hydra Stomper figure, the What If one from Season 1, and I like the look of it, but it doesn't stand very well. I can't stand it at all with the jetpack on there. Like, it's just too hard to get the weight. The feet are kind of like Bowie at the, not Bowie, but they're like kind of like bloated feet. It's hard to get a flat surface, and everything seems to kind of like always go back to the same sort of position. So I don't know if there's just something wrong with the one that I got, but great looking figure. Didn't really care for the articulation on it though. So my initial thought is it's much smaller than the last one, and that might be accurate to what we're going to see in What If Season 2. I'm just trying to figure out which way these plug on. Yeah, mine was like all turned around. I didn't really hear a pop sound or anything, but I don't want to mess around because that little part there with the star on it, that's kind of separate and loose, so I don't want to sort of go rummaging around there. But if you've haven't seen my unboxing of the what wave was it? The Marvel's wave with the totally awesome Hulk. The thing just kept collapsing and disintegrating at the waist every single time I tried to do anything with it. It just kept falling apart. Yeah, you got to be quite firm getting these in. I'm not. Oh, the articulation's weird on this. I can't even. I guess it's a good thing that you can't see where it is, but it also makes trying to figure out where the articulation is difficult as well. They've actually got labels on the leg pieces telling you if it's left or right, because it's actually kind of difficult to really be able to tell. It's got to push these on. They don't see. I'm waiting for like the snap and the pop, but it's just not coming. They're just. Overall, so far, I'm not that impressed with how this looks. Very difficult to get the head on there as well. Oof. Yeah, I'm not impressed. I'm not impressed with this at all. I'm going to have to wait and see what the series is like, because this might end up being the penultimate, Steve Rogers, Hydra Stomper figure kind of thing, but yeah, I'm not overly impressed with this as a Build-A-Figure either. I had a bit of a run of Build-A-Figures that have kind of, it just popped off. They've kind of not really lived up to the expectation. Alright, I think the head's on properly now. Yeah, if you want to sort of put it in any sort of pose other than like the standard sort of like just feet, legs kind of straight, you might have a little bit of a hard time getting it there, but oh no, that's a little bit better. Got some fisted hands with him as well. I mean, I'm glad they gave that to us, but I don't know. I'm a fan of What If, and I'm not sure what... I'm just trying to picture where the story is going with this new Hydra Stomper armor. It looks like they're just going to turn, little Stevie Rogers into Iron Man before his time. So, I don't know. But it also looks kind of like Russian as well. Like, just red and the star on there and everything like that. So, I don't know. Is this going to end up being Black Widow in there? Is this just one big old giant swerve? When comparing the new Hydra Stomper to the original Hydra Stomper, I still think I'd take the original one there. I mean, if I really wanted to, I could try and figure out the articulation in that a bit more and try and get some really cool poses out of it, but it's a big bulky kind of figure, and that's what I kind of liked about that. You got Peggy Carter hanging on the back. I mean, that's a pretty damn good... That's a pretty damn cool moment that, I'm more than happy to have represent the Hydra Stomper on here. So, looking at this wave overall... there was some disappointments. Goliath is definitely a disappointment. Agatha looks great, but is disappointing in terms of it just having basically no articulation at all that you can really kind of do. The middle twists, and that's pretty much it. I loved Yelena. I loved Kingpin. Who else did we have in this wave? Nick Fury and Talos, unfortunate show, but I think they were both pretty good figures, with the exception of Fury. He seems a little bit kind of plain, but Talos is one of my favorite figures in this wave for sure. And the Gamora figure was also very toyetic as well. That green really pops. And the Hydra Stomper, take it or leave it. I'll have to wait and see what the series is like before I decide on that. Is it shelf worthy? Maybe. It's going to depend on what the series is like and, you know, what this new iteration of the Hydra Stomper is. By the way, speaking of which, I did chuck the Steve Rogers head on the Peter Parker body, and I think it kind of works. He's got a bit of a thick neck, but it's still the height and everything, it kind of all works. So that's what I'm going to do with little Stevie Rogers' head. Thank you for checking out this video and this unboxing. I do plan on doing a lot more of this in the future. There will probably be a new channel for action figure stuff. You might even be watching this on there. I don't know what it's going to be called yet. This is all planning ahead at the moment, but I'm enjoying this. I hope you do as well. And as always, be well, stay safe, look after your friends. See you in the next video. Peace!